So this is possibly going to be the greatest podcast we've ever done because we are literally.
Jared, why don't you drink water?
We are literally going.
Half.
We are literally going to.
I think there's.
We are literally going to.
Can vampires drink water? What's the thing that can't drink water?
I've always wanted to do this.
The greatest
coming from the guy.
We are literally going to be.
Literally every 15 minutes.
I'm so excited because we are literally going to.
I thought you were going to fight on that then.
We're going to be supping up on camera.
Hello.
For the first time. So,
wow, that stinks.
What stinks? Did you fart? All right. That was a good start. What a great intro.
I think something's wrong with Jared.
Great, now I'm full.
I mean, I agree with him because being dehydrated, you don't have to pee all the time. And as soon as I sup up, I'm going to be peeing every 15 minutes during this podcast.
I'm sweating.
And clammy. Where have you been?
How do you guys get so much water on this shit?
So if you're listening on the Spotify,
Every time I finish.
if you're watching, listening on the Spotify, what's happening right now? We have a fantastic gamer sups or a sups.
Remember how we talked about doing podcasts in unique locations?
Yeah.
I'm glad we found one.
Yeah, I offered to bring in. Maybe we should bring in our chairs so that we could at least have matching seating. And then I was chewed out. And apparently it's a horrible idea.
That is a stupid idea.
I actually didn't hear that idea, but that is, you know what? That is a stupid idea.
Because instead, one of us should sit on a bed and one of us should sit on a recliner.
Well, now
5 feet away from everybody else.
Now this looks like you're a therapist and giving us all, or we're doing a dating thing like contestant number 1. Can I have a
I'm choosing
sup,
Jared,
please. What the fuck, dude? You haven't even asked us questions.
He knows all he needs.
You just have to look.
I want close your fucking eyes.
You know, I was gonna go for raspberry, but I think I'll take peach.
This one? Okay.
I'm going blue
Can
ras.
you give me two scoops in there?
All right, now that we're warmed up.
Maybe you can introduce the podcast properly now.
Hi, guys, and welcome to the next episode of the Before Death podcast.
Introduced too many times of late. Dekie, introduce us.
Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode of Before Death, the podcast.
That was good. Not as sprightly and happy as Paul, but
Well, I wasn't planning on doing it.
Oh.
Paul always does it.
Well, no, we spread it around.
Paul's pretty good at it.
He's very good at it.
We've got our beautiful contestants for the dating show today. Michael Risky,
You did 2 scoops?
Jared, Aventura Australia, Stir Dekie of Dekieland, and obviously me, Paul Pestilli. So we last left off in Wales, where Dekie shat all over the side of a boat.
Yeah.
And we were on our way to London.
London.
You sound like you're from London. Now, the reason why we were going to London was not for the fact that...
What's the difference between somebody that's from London and the rest of England?
They're not in Great Britain.
Okay, well, that's going to really trigger people. But how is their accent different?
the United Kingdom.
They talk more posh, like the king. Like,
The
can I
Queen's
have
tongue.
a tea and crumpet?
Oh, Lord, what a wonderful day to have scones and tea.
Hey, Prince
Scones and tea.
Philip, you pedophile.
What?
Oh.
It's the first minute of the podcast.
Yeah,
Michael.
wow, really?
That's the Queen's husband. And he's both... he died.
Is it Prince Philip?
Yeah.
Those are just accusations, by the way, too.
Was it Prince Philip? That was like
No, it's Albert.
that's-
Albert. Oh, shit. Oh, Prince
How
Albert.
dare you speak
pedophile.
ill of the Queen's husband?
Good
she's
old
dead.
Prince Albert.
And he is too.
Look, I thought Everest was in Europe. So if I get my pedophiles mixed up, I apologize.
Wow.
No, but we did meet some people from London. Did we actually meet anyone from London?
No, we met 4 very individual people in London that really changed all of our lives. We looked inside ourselves and found some characters in London.
But did we actually meet?
Oh, I was so confused.
You ruined it. You ruined my entire intro on the whole reason why we went to London. And I said it wasn't to meet the Queen, and you guys went on a massive tangent about the language of London and people and accents.
Hello, governor.
And it wasn't to meet Russell Brand either. Even if I don't even know if he lives in London. The reason why we went to London was because I, many years ago, went to go to a restaurant and I had to cancel it due to an argument with my ex.
go deeply into that.
Yeah, do we want to delve into that?
Let's delve into it.
Let's get into it.
No,
I think
let's
we
get
need to
into
have
it.
a
Let's
talk.
I
talk
always wanted to
about
go
ex.
to this restaurant, and it was called Evan and Peel. It's a detective agency.
Why didn't you use that accent
Yeah,
when we were at
you're,
the thing?
you're
nailing it.
like Goss or Guz or Gaz. What was
You
his
just
name?
shut the fuck up, sir, and
He was
listen in.
Bonzo? Bazo?
Bazza.
Baza.
G'day, mate. Well, I'm back.
Oh my God.
Let's crack straight into it.
Let's crack straight into
This
it.
has been quite a chaos of a start.
I've come all the way from Australia to the detective agency of Evan and Peel to find out who did the murder.
Okay, well, should we go into that a bit more? So
Yes, we should.
The Evan and Peel restaurant, you really wanted to go because you broke
Yeah.
up with your ex during that time.
Yes.
So was it because you booked that restaurant? That's why you
We
broke
went to
up?
go to that restaurant, we didn't. And because we didn't,
And what was the fight about?
I don't know. But I decided I wanted to make sure I went back one day to go to that restaurant.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, it's not the world's best restaurant.
No, it's
doesn't
not
really-
even a restaurant.
Doesn't actually cook anything.
None. There's no food.
No, they literally just opened up some ham and cheese and put it on a platter.
But it was an experience. And the reason why it was an experience, we spent the 4 hours drive going in. So, okay, I should restart. When you go to Evan and Peel, you actually go there. It's like a themed restaurant, and they're a detective agency, and you're meant to go in with a concern or an issue, and they solve the concern or issue.
Yeah.
Well, you had a pretty good concern or issue last time. You should have maybe followed through. The detective could have helped.
Yeah, I've
Anyway.
just broken up with my missus.
So what I decided
Did you
while we
mean
were
the
driving
grandparents that were
in,
lost?
we said let's lean into this and let's turn it into like an RP.
Hold on. What are you talking about?
What?
What was the issue?
Me and the ex.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like,
Yeah, me too.
How did you not pick up on this, Michael?
I did, but then he didn't really like follow
The room
through
is
with it.
filled with negative vibes right now.
Is it?
So we should probably
Therapist over here is
we're
Can we just
we're all
restart this
running on
entire
less than
episode? This is
four hours
horrible.
of sleep.
No, we
hit that-
slept in the park for 20 minutes.
We've hit that point of the trip where we're like, we've passed the friendly part, and we're starting to get like that brotherly irritability. So
Yeah.
if you can sense some tension between the boys,
There's no tension.
well, we're just tired today. So I think
Yeah.
I feel like we're a little bit snappier than we usually.
We had a
are.
great day, but we'll get to that. So we went into this restaurant and we
Oh,
said,
okay, no. We're let's back up again.
Here's the
only
brotherly
reason
tension.
we're going to fucking London is because of this restaurant. There was no need for us to drive all the way to London at all.
No, there
So
wasn't.
the entire reason we went to London is to go to Evan and Peel to fulfill Pestle's dream that he had to once go to this detective agency.
Yeah.
And we also did a meetup there, but we weren't even going to go. We weren't even going to do that meetup. It was all because of this. So there's a lot building up to this. And this has been like 10 years in the making for Pest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not that long, maybe 8.
Wow. It's even closer.
It
Okay.
was 2014.
That's 9 years.
It was 8.5 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
I told you I was going to come back.
Well, okay.
You cross me, mate. I'll come back for you.
now let's get into it.
Yeah.
All right.
We're driving.
We're driving and we said we need to make a good reason to why we're going to this restaurant. And I don't know how we got to this, but we just started going on this massive tangent.
I mean, I got to it pretty quick. I said,
Yeah,
one of us fucked our stepsister.
Yeah. I think we said first, like, maybe there should be a murder, and you're like, I've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Stepsister
Yeah.
Was not murdered.
was not murdered, but that came up afterwards. We were
Yeah.
like, for one, somebody has had some kind of relations with their stepsister.
Mm-hmm.
And then number two, we were like, we need to have a murder. And that was the sister's betrothed.
Yeah. Well, we should explain. Are we
Yeah.
brothers?
So basically, there's 4 of us.
Yes.
We're playing the role of 4 brothers.
Love it.
There's also 4 different accents. So we're half brothers for each other. And
Was it the same dad?
Our
or the
dad
same
was a
mum?
traveler.
our dad was a traveler. He now lives in Bosnia on the Mostar Bridge playing an accordion.
And he's Marsho.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, this was what we said.
Yeah, he is a mixture of 2
he is
characters.
too.
And so there's 4 of us. We have a sister.
Stepsister.
There's also 4 roles. So the sister's boyfriend was murdered. Someone murdered him. Someone tried to cover up the murder. Someone was in relations with the murdered, the dead guy, our sister's boyfriend. And someone was in relations with our sister.
stepsister. You really need to add stepsister in there.
Yes,
It's a
it really
different type
ruins
of
it.
That's
podcast.
creepy.
Now, to add extra like twist to it all is those 4 roles were all us, but we didn't know who was whom.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we all picked roles out of a hat. We had to come up with our own character. We all came up with our own accent. And we all had to try and figure out what everyone else's roles were we weren't allowed to like straight up lie. But
You were meant to cover up your own role.
Yeah.
whilst
While
also
figuring
trying-
out everybody
Yeah.
else's.
And that, I think that was more the experience than the actual thing. But let's start off when we arrived there.
Oh, that was so funny. The starting moment.
Yes. How did it arrive? Do you remember? or do you want me to tell?
Well, yeah. So like we walk up and we were waiting to get there exactly at like our time, which was 5. And it's just a door on the side of the thing. It has a little like intercom thing, and you press it, and he's all like, "Hey, who's out there?"
He did, good accent.
It was
And I
good. That
all
was
like-
good.
And I didn't know if it was like actually like part of the act or if it was just like a door guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is quite the door guy, if so. But no, it was part of the act. And so we're like, hey, it's us. And we're like, we were just like, yeah, it's Paul.
Yeah.
And he's all, yeah, come on in. Come right down the stairs. And we were like, and this was his accent. I'm not just doing a bad accent. It was
Boston,
that bad.
Yeah.
So we go down the stairs and it like instantly turns into this old like 1920s like detective den. He's got old black and white pictures up. He's got a desk, a typewriter, all this stuff in there.
And
it's
notepad.
very
What? Notepad.
A notepad.
Yeah, notepad. Very immersive.
Bookcase.
Yeah, bookcase. A lot of stuff all over the room. Very immersive. This tiny little room. The only place you could go at the bottom of these stairs. And I was like, oh, this is sick. This is what we signed up for. Because we weren't really sure. We knew it was a themed restaurant. Yeah. We didn't know how deep into the theming they go. We didn't know, all the details on this or that of what it was going to be like. Just that it's a themed restaurant and they're supposed to kind of figure out your case. And so we go in there, and he's all like, "So what brings you guys here? What do you need Evan and Peel for?" And so we asked him, like, "Are you Evan? Are you Peel? Who was he? I don't remember."
He was JP, so he was Peel.
Peel.
But at this point, I think Pulse was like about to point to me. He's like, "Well, Michael explained, and you yelled over the top of me."
Yeah. So he's like, "What are you here for?" And yeah. Pest points at Michael to explain our dilemma of the murdered betrothed, and I was just all like.
Oh, do you want me to do it?
Do your accent. I want to hear it again.
What is your accent? Did you go that deep to bring out Philippe?
Somebody murdered our stepsister's boyfriend.
And this was very loud and very projected at JP. And he kind of, you can
That's
tell.
the only time JP broke character.
Yeah. Because he literally sat there and went, oh, it's one of these groups. Oh, no.
So at this point, we all introduce our characters. He takes some notes. So let's go through our characters, I guess.
Well, let's start with
First
that one.
Philippe.
I am Philippe. I am from Paris, and I am a cat burglar that plans to steal the Mona Lisa.
You did many other things as well.
I might have had relations with Siamese twins.
Who died on the Titanic?
They're not dead yet.
No. Oh, God, what was my accent? I need to think about smoothies. My name is Donald. D-O-N-M-A-L. Donald. I'm from Ireland, Derry. And that's all. I run a carpet shop. And yeah.
And my name was Martin. Sorry. My name was Martin. I live in Albania and I run a tour guide agency. I'm not a violent person.
G'day, mate. My name's Gazza.
That was Bazza.
Was it Bazza? Bazza. Like cleaning poles and polishing pipes.
Yep, that's right.
It was a laying pipe.
Or laying pipe.
And polishing poles.
So no, we eventually say to JP, we're four brothers, and our sister's betrothed has been murdered. But there's 4 things you need to know: that there's been a murder, a cover up, a secret, and
Heartbreak.
a heartbreak.
And we did not break character, and we tried to very much imply, like, JP, you need to figure out which one of us is these 4 roles. We were like, we don't know these roles, and it was very hard to convey this to the man without breaking role. Yeah. But eventually he's all like, oh, yeah, I got it. So we got to figure out who's one of these roles.
Yeah. And the best part, though, is when he's like, so who's Paul Licari? After we've just given all of our names, and we're all like, that one.
But I was like, we all are.
we all are. And then that's when he's like, all right, let me open up the door and you can go in. And
well, that's when he realized we weren't going to break character.
No,
and I think he started to be like, oh, God.
He wasn't the only one.
Yeah, so then he goes over to the bookcase, pulls down a book, the door swings open, and we go into this like speakeasy bar. It was sick.
I was expecting everybody to kind of be like into the character thing as well, like trying to talk to us, but they were just like, hey, how are you? Come to sit down.
We were the first people in the restaurant.
Which was very good.
And I guess it was the bartender. He's like trying to take our drinks at the start.
What was her name? Steven? Stevie?
Stevie.
Stevie.
Yeah.
And he was not in character unless his character was boring as fuck.
But he didn't realize that you weren't Albanian.
Yeah, and he didn't realize that we were all in character either. So,
I think you realized something was wrong with me.
yeah, your accent wasn't fooling anyone. So we try and stay in character as much as we can, and he's not really cracking, and he's getting more and more uncomfortable by the minute. And then
he starts bringing up how, if you're Albanian, how you felt about Joe Biden.
Starts asking me all about Albanian politics, and I guess my answers were not very typically Albanian that I was giving him, but I was just trying to be a unique character. And then he I guess he kind of figures out that I'm not actually Albanian and just kind of gonna leave.
And at that point, he swapped out with another bartender.
Yeah, he pulled somebody else in to take care of us.
Yeah. Who was a little more tolerant, but
Not much.
no.
We were filming at the time, and eventually we got asked to stop because more people were arriving.
Yeah.
So
It was a lot of fun.
it was a lot of trying to figure out who did what. Now, the time frame was my favorite part. So let me just go through the time frame of what I remember. You started making love to your Siamese twins at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
All right. So we know it now. Let's also explain the backdrop. We were at our father's manor, who had passed away, and our sister's betrothed had been found impaled on the fence, which could have fallen from the top balcony.
And for anyone who doesn't know what betrothed means, just replace that with boyfriend.
Yeah.
Get married. About to be
Yeah.
married.
Yes.
Yes. Is it not a Canadian word?
Never heard it before you said that.
You need to watch more old English shows.
Wouldn't it be fiance?
Downtown Abbey.
Downton Abbey and things like that.
Yeah,
well,
it's like an old school way of saying fiance.
Yeah. Or arranged marriage. Now, you are making love to Siamese twins up the top tower out of the window, which supposedly he's fell.
I was imagining him on the second floor fucking the twins.
Sure. You were on the second floor, which is also...
I was not on the ground floor
You're not on
when
the
I was
ground
making
floor.
sweet love to these
Were they
twins.
conjoined at the neck and the hip, but they separated at the head
They
and
were
the legs?
conjoined at the neck, but they separated at the hip.
So they had two heads and two bottoms.
No, that'd be 2 heads, 2 arms, 4 legs.
Yeah.
What
Did they have 4 legs?
Oh yeah, there's 4 legs.
That's making love to a spider. That's what that is. No, so that's at 5, and you did that for 2 hours. Now at 7,
Philippe is a man that likes to love.
yeah, I'm going to go to different points. At one point, I'm pretty sure was his name Alvin, the boyfriend?
Yes.
He came
From Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yes, he came running in at 7:03 to his room.
And just like we had made the backstory that we'd be at the manor, our father had died. We were trying to figure out who would get his inheritance. And that was like the backstory. Other than this is all conversation we had and we came up with when we were discussing trying to figure out whose role was
so
what.
it was very improv.
Yeah,
I would
very
be
improv. So that's where all this comes into, and this is just kind of the culmination of all
So
of
I
our
would be
stories
like,
combined.
Philippe, what were you doing at 5 o'clock at the time of the body or whatever?
Yeah.
And then he would be like, I was fucking my Siamese twins.
Yeah, and then at
That sounds like Dracula, but sure.
At 7, he stopped making love. At 7:03, you were helping our stepsister out of the bath.
I was.
because she had leg lock.
Yes.
And then at 7:15, a body was discovered. And at 8, I was with the stepsister in the back office room sorting out power of attorney business because she was the power of attorney for our father's thing.
Yeah.
And during all of this, I was working in the garden and working hard outside.
Yeah.
And I was dirty from cleaning poles.
Did you have a shower as well?
I had a shower at 7:15.
Yeah.
That's right. You had a shower when the body was discovered.
Which was very suspicious because usually he comes back and has his 15 VBs
Yeah.
right after working
Yeah.
all day.
So in a time frame of all sorts of things,
beers.
and so 7:15, he's having a shower, the body's discovered, and then 45 minutes go past. Then I'm told about the body, like because I'm at 8 o'clock. That's when the stepsister and I are
yeah.
power of attorney things.
So I don't know if we need to drag out the details. Should we just go into the truth of what actually happened?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I killed the stepbrother, or I killed the brother,
Yeah,
or the betrothed.
but let's
the
go.
boyfriend.
Let's go into how you killed him. You strangled him,
I strangled him and left him on the bathroom floor.
and then
He got
wait for it. Wait for it. After he was strangled, he ran into the room, strangled dead. He ran into the room where he saw him fucking 2 Siamese twins and said, "I want to join." And you went, "No." So you pushed him off the balcony, and that's how he died. And we were like,
Well,
Wait.
I was covering up. So
Yeah.
I was trying, because I thought the murderer was Baza. I thought it was Pest.
"Yeah."
And I thought Pest had murdered this man. So I was trying to cover up Pest alibi of being all like, I pushed him off. So I was just trying to make up anything I could because I didn't want Pest to be accused of murder.
So you you picked up the strangled body and threw it on the fence to make it look like an accident.
I never even saw the strangled body. I was just saying anything I could to get the thing off Pest.
He was obviously
In shock.
And Pest wasn't even the murderer.
yeah. No, he was he tried to make it look like a suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I loved him so much.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart to see that happen.
Yeah. I was quite surprised that you were the lover of Alvin.
Well,
I thought he was the
polishing
lover-
poles and laying pipe would be a
I
pretty
thought
good
that
giveaway.
was just a euphemism to keep us. He was bloody erecting things and doing all sorts.
Yeah, because I also put some red herrings. Like I was helping our stepsister out of the bath. But
Which confused the fuck out of me because then I'm like, did I read the card? Did I read my card wrong?
Yeah,
Because
it was just a loving help out of the bath. That was it.
I was fucking my stepsister. And when I heard you being like, I was helping my stepsister out of the bath, Maria, at 7:03, and I was like, why the fuck are you helping her out of the bath? So
Well, because I strangled her boyfriend.
at 7:15.
Long story short, it was not the overall Evan and Peel experience was supposed to pretty much end after the first 10 minutes when we went into the speakeasy. That's kind of where it sums up.
Yeah, and it's
I
a bit
think,
of a tappers bar kind of thing. It's not really a full restaurant.
Yeah, and if you want, maybe like the detective will come back and like play along with you at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
we
I
definitely insisted he did, and
I
he
think
came back and he had,
eavesdrops on you
yeah.
somehow.
I think everyone heard us. So.
Yeah, so we're like yelling, like I'm slamming the table. I'm not a violent person, and like standing up, and we're making such a scene, and everyone else just having normal conversation.
Yeah, everybody else was not trying to solve a mystery. They were just trying to have some drinks.
But it was honestly the most fun dinner I've had in my life.
Yeah,
Yeah, same.
100%.
It was so much fun.
It was so good.
But that's because of us, not because of Evan and Peel.
But I think it helped enable it.
Yeah, I
in
give Evan
honesty.
and Peel a solid 2 out of 5.
Yeah, because the thing is, we wouldn't have committed if it was just like, okay, let's do a dinner party, guys, and it was at someone's house.
Yeah,
it
but-
would be hard to commit that much. you
Yeah.
know?
They
Now
put
we
us in the
probably
setting
could.
and then they didn't do shit else.
Yeah.
We carried it.
Well, no, they did because he came back at the end.
And he was
And
very
he
close.
did very well.
Yeah.
After we insisted, he came back like 6 times to the waiter.
I'm pretty sure he comes back at all the time and he gives
Yeah.
his conclusion at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, he came back and I think he said, I was the murderer.
No, I think he said I was the murderer.
No, I'm pretty sure he said I was the murderer.
Okay.
But he got one of you guys right. I'm confident of that.
He got like 2 of us right. I don't remember
And
who.
he got 2 of us with the same thing, like a heartbreak and a secret.
Oh, but he would never. But Alvin never died.
Yeah, that's right. Alvin never died, and he was in a relationship with someone,
Yeah.
which we were like, this guy's good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think he was eavesdropping on us the whole time.
Yeah,
Peephole in the wall. Or he was just in the room and could hear us on the other side.
yeah. But that was some gut wrenching laughing.
It was a lot of fun.
I hope that we conveyed it well enough to you, audience, because it was a really cool
I
experience.
don't think people can understand because when we're trying to explain it, we're like, we're 4 brothers. We have a stepsister. Someone's been murdered. Someone's having relations with our stepsister, and we're saying this all very loudly. So I can imagine how people were like, "Were you fucking our stepsister?" at the table.
Yeah. We were making a scene.
It was a great scene.
Yeah.
I kind of want to try it again in a different.
I don't
scenario.
mind because we paid so much money to be there. Like, you know what? I got my money's worth.
And there's no food.
But yeah,
Yeah.
God, we were so hungry.
may Alvin rest in peace,
R.I.P. Alvin.
and I live a very long life with my stepsister Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all get our fair share of the
We did.
inheritance.
She was the power of attorney, so Alvin gets nothing.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I don't know. I don't think he would have got anything anyway. But
He was going to wheedle in somehow. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why you strangled him. He threw him off the roof.
I just didn't like him. So anyways, we explored London with some of the lads.
Yeah, with some of the
Yeah,
lads.
some of the
Yeah,
lads.
some great people on that one.
and we had your mate Eddie McBrammer.
Yeah, he rocked up
Bram
again.
made his
Big Eddie.
second meetup.
Yeah, he
Our
did.
first ever double meetupper, and he did the mountain with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much triple meetup.
Yeah.
Three-peat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three-peat.
So we caught up at Hyde Park in London. It was a really good location. I was a bit like, where do we go?
Mm-hmm.
I was really happy we picked there at the end because it was just like a nice scenic area, and we just got to relax and talk with people.
Yeah.
Had like train __ and Blitzer Girl there, and then a heap of other people show up.
Yeah, no, it was great to actually meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
Some very beautiful people.
great
that came.
folks.
Yeah. So and Eddie McBram found a little tree with a rolling it. And then you and I saw the thing.
I saw the thing.
We both saw the thing.
We were walking. It just gotten dark. We got told to leave the.
But still
place.
light enough for us to see the thing.
Yeah, and Michael and I walking. We're all walking to this bar just so we could have somewhere to hang out for another hour or two. And out of the bushes, I'm not even exaggerating. It was like straight out of The Walking Dead. 2 people walked out of the bushes, and they were naked from the waist up. She was naked from the waist up, and he was like, I don't think he was very well dressed either.
No, but she was at least 6'5".
She was tall.
She was very tall. And I also question whether it was a woman. But
no, it definitely was.
Large breasts.
I had a good look.
Very, yeah, the very large breasts.
But the thing was, they walked like it was nothing.
Yeah.
They were just like.
And that made me wonder, you guys taught me the term dogging, if that was the situation.
No, I don't think it was.
So that was just lovemaking in
a
public park.
That was either lovemaking in a public park or prostitution.
That too.
But why did you say it was like out of The Walking Dead?
Like they just appeared at like that Homer Simpson meme where he like goes back into the bush.
The grass.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with The Walking Dead?
Because the zombies are quite slow walking.
Yeah, they
don't run out at you. It's just very like, oh, there they are.
Oh.
You can't.
But they weren't making any noise.
I didn't experience this.
Yeah.
So anyways, during all this time, me and Dekie were playing in a dome tree with Eddie.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Which I'm pretty sure he's still in there. So
Yeah. I'd live there. It's a pretty nice place.
Eddie, if you're there, be safe.
It smelled like piss.
Everywhere smells like piss.
Why, Dekie?
Piss in there.
I have pissed all over Europe. I don't stop.
So you pissed in a subway. Did you piss in a subway bathroom yesterday?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Bathroom?
Bathroom's an
Oh
interesting
no.
word.
You went down the stairs and it was all dark because I don't think it was a subway. It went to like a service tunnel.
The guy said it goes to a dead end.
Well, yeah, it was like all dark and I was like, this is perfect. And then lights came on. It was like motion lights and I was like, fuck. So then I just went halfway up the stairs and pissed.
Well, okay. Anyway, Copenhagen, great place. But yeah, so after London, we got up nice and early for a huge day.
Did we?
Yes, we went to Northern Ireland. Well, we flew into Dublin and then we drove up to Northern Ireland.
Ryanair.
And we, Ryanair. Let's not talk about them. But we went up Sleeve Donard.
Yeah.
Big Don.
Yeah. And we were late because of Ryanair, but
Yep.
people who were waiting there.
That was a great.
That was a great mountain.
Great crew.
That really was. That
We
was
had Gavin,
top one of the top
Andy,
mountains of this trip.
Warren,
So Wild Stallions.
his son Caleb.
Oh
Forgot about that. The horses.
Yeah. I'm the horse whisperer. So yeah, we had to wake up what, 4?
Yeah, I think we got in the car at 4 or 4:30.
So we woke up in London or
London.
where did we stay? I don't even remember the hotel.
Oh, it was that
It was Copthorne something.
you and I were sleeping
yeah.
together.
Yeah, Cockthorne. Yep.
Cockthorne.
Yeah. We were at the Cockthorne. And so we woke up at like 4. We got in the thing. We went to the airport. It was not Heathrow. It was like what?
Stansted, and it was a fucking horrible airport.
It was a pretty shit airport.
Yeah.
Like not only that, the car rental agency was like nowhere near the airport, but they didn't have it signed.
No.
And we were like budget Avis, which was nowhere near the other ones.
It's like trying to find Narnia.
It was
It was a
horrible.
pain.
Yeah.
But we
No
got there,
wardrobe,
then the
though.
flights were delayed, yada, 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 all this other stuff. We finally fly to Northern Ireland. Then we have to rent the car. We fly into Dublin, which is Ireland. Then we rent the car. We drive up to Northern Ireland. We get to the mountain. We have to climb the mountain. Then we come back down and then we can actually, then we have a meetup. And then we could rest. It was the busiest day we've had. It was pretty fun though.
And in the planning process of the trip, I said, this is the one day that it's going to be hectic. Like there was no other way of really making it work. But even though I'm glad we went through the mindset of just like, well, let's just enjoy the walk, the hike, because we didn't rush.
No,
and that was a really fun.
You rushed the start bit because we forgot the drone and made you rush back.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
That was all of our bads.
Yeah.
That was one where we collectively did all forget something.
I just remember rocking up and just trying to unpack as many cables as I could to get the IRL backpack set up. It was good.
But yeah.
Good. Here's a story.
I was going to say single ply, double ply, or triple ply, or
Ferns.
yeah.
So yeah, I was running back up, and if you listen to the last podcast, let's just say that the McSpicies have a delayed effect on me.
Well, didn't we have another 3 after that?
Oh yeah,
experience?
we had some McSpicies.
Yeah.
So you've added to it.
Yeah, and they compounded. So I was running up. Well, I was running down, and I was getting real sweaty. Right, I'm like, okay, it's just hot. I'm running, and then I turn around and start coming back up, and I'm sweating way more than I should be.
Yeah.
And things aren't going good.
If you get closer to it, it's going to change the focus.
No, spot focus too.
Oh, did you? Thank you.
And then, I was actually on the phone with my wife, just talking to her, catching up. And I was like,
just now? Oh,
no,
and
this
then
is
the
story.
story.
So I was coming up
Yeah.
the mountain and I was like, okay, I got kind of a problem here. And then right at that moment, you called me and you're like, where are you? You're coming. I'm like, yeah, I'm almost there. And I like saw this grouping of trees and I'm like, this is my last shot, like before it starts clearing up there, or I get too close to the guys. So I just went and found a nice spot with a big bunch of ferns. And
what was it like wiping with ferns?
What was your approach? You hold onto a branch?
no, I got a good deep squat.
Can you show us?
No, he doesn't need to show
I want
you.
him to see. Like, I want to see what you do. I've never shit in the woods before.
Just like this.
Okay. Do you
Feet
go
are pretty close
do you go
together.
pants fully down?
No, you just have them around your knees here.
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
tuck your dick?
Yeah, so you want
I've explained this before to you, Mark.
you want
yeah.
your butt below your shin line, below your knee line. So
It's just to a deep squat. That's it.
yeah, that's it. So your pants would be bunched up right here.
Yeah.
So everything on your hip line would be below your pants.
Your pants don't really stretch that. Your pants don't really stretch that wide, so it'd be like this.
Well, maybe on the BPBs, I'll give you guys a live action feel of how I do this. Anyways, you got to find a nice bunch of soft ferns. Hopefully it's not poison ivy. It wasn't.
What if it was though?
Then I would be in big trouble.
So if that was me in that situation, I would have done the fern thing, pulled up my pants, and I would walk straight over to the creek, wash my hands, and wash my ass.
I did that, but I didn't need to wash my ass. It was the ferns did a really good job, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. This might be getting a little grotesque for people, but when you're squatting at that angle, your body naturally relieves itself in a very clean way.
Oh.
Your body's built to basically relieve yourself when your hips are like this. So you're squatting in a very deep position. Some of you might be aware of the product called the Squatty Potty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a step stool you put, and it gives you a better hip angle.
We've got them at my house.
Yeah, and you'll notice, like,
poop better.
if you remember at Moxie's house,
Yeah.
how the
was
toilets
horrible.
were built for giants.
Yeah. Moxie,
You sit here.
I did
and
not shit well at your house.
Your feet are hanging off the edge.
That's like me on every toilet.
Yeah, so that's why you have the Squatty Potty. So yeah, when you do go in nature, it's a lot better angle, and it's more natural.
So moving on, I think we've spoken about poo-poo
So let me
enough.
get a little bit more details here.
But yeah, Jared finally caught up, and soon after we broke out into the highlands of Northern Ireland, Northern Ireland, and there was the wild horses.
Wild horses, yeah.
Oh my God.
Tell us about the wild horses, Dekie.
So we're cruising up the hill, and we're just breaking out of the trees, and I wasn't paying attention. I was probably making a stupid Instagram story or something. And shout out to go follow Mr. Dekie on Instagram, guys, if you want the best stories in the entire world.
Not lying.
And somebody's all like, "Dude, horses!" And I was like, "Oh shit, I'm not a horse guy, but I do like a little bit of equestrianness, equestrian. I don't know. I like horses decently well. So horses are a 7 out of 10. Pretty cool. So I was like, dude, where? And so like I look up the hill and there's like 12 horses just out in this little hill, like grazing. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like we're not in the middle of nowhere because this hill's right next to a town. And I was like, we got wild horses out here. And one guy was all like, yeah. So like 10, 15 years ago, farmers just let their horses go and they're like, we don't need them, or we're just going to let them go. And so they've stayed on this mountain and they've reproduced and they hang out there just grazing. And so they're not domesticated. And like there's been a generation or so.
There's a fresh one.
Yeah. There's some like,
Yeah, was that the one on the
younger
ground?
ones too. And they're not domesticated, but they're not like wild.
Yeah.
So they're like not scared of humans, but he's like, you can't pet them. And so I was all like, so we get up there and like, we're hanging out. I kind of get a little bit closer to them and they're all just like eating, looking in. Everybody else, like some other people on the mountain taking pictures of them and stuff. And then I look and there's one right next to me. It's like a baby and it looked like a cartoon. It was so like perfectly, everything on it was like immaculate. It was, and it was like, I don't know how old it was, but it was a baby horse and he's just laying on his side. And eventually like he got up and like walked over to his mom. And that's when I was all like, I'm going to touch one. So
Where'd you get the apple from? Someone had an
It
apple.
was just on the ground.
it was on the ground. Yeah.
Really?
It was like a sign. Yeah.
Someone probably tried it. And they failed.
They didn't
And
have the
so
right
I was all like, you got animals can sense your spirit,
What is your spirit?
anger for the most part, but I think deep down somewhere there's actually a little bit of purity, maybe
I think
a very small amount.
It's authenticity.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The horses
There
could
we
sense
go.
that.
Yeah.
If I did it, they would have been like, "This is fake."
Just start
he
telling you.
probably says he loves all the horses.
I'm not even his favorite horse.
So and these are not big horses. They're pretty small horses overall. I don't know what
They
kind of
weren't
horse
the biggest.
they were.
They had a big penis. One of them did.
Oh yeah. He was real large. That was on my Instagram story. So I kind of get down to this position and I crouch down and I'm like moving over like this, and lo and behold, an apple appears next to me. It was like placed there by the horse gods. So I get it and I go up to, there's this one real fat horse. I don't know if it was pregnant or if it had just been overeating, but I move towards it and he like looks at me and we connect. And I stared at him and he stared at me. It's kind of like when I was staring at that Irish bartender. Welsh bartender. Yeah. And we connect for a bit and then he's like, he gives a little,
Well, he's a horse. He's a horse.
and so that's when I took the apple and I moved closer and I moved closer. And at this point I was like, oh, he's not leaving. We are in this. So I extend my arm and he doesn't do anything. And then I was like, oh no, earlier Jared had to break the apple for me because I couldn't do it. I was too weak.
Did you do an apple break?
Yeah.
That's hot.
When I first picked it up. And then I went over with the broken apple and I offered it to him and he's like, and he starts eating it. And then he starts nibbling on my fingers too. And it was quite the experience. And he eats a little bit and then he like stops and I start petting his nose, his head, I scratch his little head and he's like in on it and everybody else is like, oh my God, the horse whisperer. And everybody's very impressed, or at least in my mind they were. And then I give him the rest of the apple and he nibbles on my finger some more and then I let him go.
Wow.
But it's a beautiful experience. I had never had anything like that happen before.
Yeah. It was actually really cool to see.
Yeah.
It was. The horse whisperer.
I think there's been a few other occasions as well with other animals that I've seen you look at, and it's almost happened with sheep.
I
Sheep
can't do
are a
it.
little
I haven't
skittish.
been able to
But
touch
I still feel like they sense your spirit and you lock eyes, but I think they kind of turn away and want you to follow them and you don't.
At the moment, I think the lambs that we've been seeing are just that little bit too old. If they were like a week or two earlier, I think we would have been able to go pat some pick up some lambs. But right now, like when we were walking through, I think it was Islands Peak, and there was lambs everywhere. I think if it was like maybe 2 to 4 weeks earlier, I think we would have been able to walk straight up to them and pick them up.
because they can't walk.
They're just more like, they're just more like.
Well,
don't know,
I think those
friendly.
ones we were seeing on the side of the mountain are like they're like domesticated, obviously, because they're like spray painted, but they're more wild. I don't think someone's tending to them on like a weekly
Is the
basis.
spray paint for like knowing something about them, or are they just like got some kids just being like, let's go tag some
No,
sheep?
Probably
like, I don't know,
identifying them.
Yeah.
To some point,
identifying.
yeah.
But no, we went up to the top. We had a great crew. We had young Warren, who was our oldest member, climbing a mountain at the age of 53.
We also had what was his name? Tommy Boy? Young fella.
Caleb.
Old Caleb.
Old Caleb, who came with his dad, Dan.
Yes.
Our youngest member, he was 10.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
So it's probably the best age.
And
Yeah.
those kids, like at that age, just run up mountains.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
But we love Caleb. We don't hate Caleb. Just his ability to climb mountains is what we hate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't hate him, you just resent him.
Hey, Caleb.
Hey, Caleb.
Hope your YouTube channel is going good.
Yeah, did you all subscribe?
Well, I subscribed.
I didn't because he didn't subscribe to me.
Subscribe to you where?
On YouTube.
Aventura Australia.
Oh.
That's where he's going to do a video on the squat. Please do a video.
I already
on
got
this.
a video on the squad. It's on my second channel though.
What? We need
You have
it.
a second channel?
He has a
Yeah, remember we've talked about my second channel.
Oh.
Anyway, so
Why are you doing that on that channel?
99, it was a great place.
Yeah, but Warren, 53, trooper.
You said 52.
No, I said 53. That could be a pest of shame moment or a point for me at least. We'll have to look back. Anyway, Warren started getting cramps. Everybody else started going out further. Paul said Michael's sick back with Warren. This was up the last little bit. He's pushing through. He started getting the cramps and everything. And I thought, I'm going to do what Dekie did. Get in his face.
Michael, you're probably thinking,
just start abusing
fuck,
him."
I got to stay back with Warren all the way at the back. This sucks.
I got stuck with the slow kid. But no, he got all this exact same cramps as what I got on the marathon. And I was like, this is my time to give back the way that Dekie gave back to me. But I just come off like, ever since you guys have told me that I'm condescending, anything I do now is just like, this just sounds patronizing. So I'm like filming him and doing all sorts of stuff. And then all of a sudden I'm really like, oh, Warren. And he goes, oh, and he falls down backwards and starts sliding. I'm like, I'll just keep filming him. So I'm just like filming him like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, just cramp. And so I'm trying to stretch it. And I kept asking him questions and he just didn't, like I'm internalized, didn't say anything. And I'm like, I'm not helping at all. But
You kept him company.
You're doing great.
great. I'm filming you. We shared some fruit. He got to the top. He ran the last like 10 meters. What a trooper. His wife said, you shouldn't go out. You're not going to be able to do it. She said she watched the stream and it was the most anxiety she's ever had.
He proved her wrong.
Yeah. And then she helped him rub Tiger Balm on it.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you mean by it?
But yeah.
Yeah. Good on you, Warren, if you're watching, and everybody that came out and joined us.
So
Sleeve was gorgeous though. It had the wall.
The wall.
There's just like you go up the saddle and there's like giant hill on your left, giant hill on the right. On both hills, it's just a single like 5 feet stone hand built
I'd say
stone
it's
wall.
6 foot. I could barely see over it.
Well, you're not 6 feet, so you
I
wouldn't
know.
have been able to see over
But
it.
if it was 5 feet, I'd be able to see over it fine.
I could just see over it. Could you just see over it?
It was
Yeah.
it was a
big
solid wall.
Okay. And and it like goes between and it's just huge, but there's also like no grass or like no high grass. It's all very low. There's no vegetation or bushes or trees or anything. But it's very picturesque just because it's just the only like structure or object out on these hills.
Yeah. And you know why they built that wall?
Stop the rabbits.
Keep the rabbits out.
Really?
Nazi Goreng. Keep the rabbits out.
Yeah. Anyway, so and the wall was also part of like the ridge line, but then when you got up to the top of it's from a commercial from a show. It was actually to keep the sheep out, but anyway, when you got to the top on the other side, you could see the ocean, and then there was like all the other hills, and then the valley with all the city and all
You
that.
can see
down there.
Scotland too.
Yeah, you can see
And you
Scotland.
can see Scotland. Oh
Yeah.
my god,
It was
Gorgeous.
And that's what I was saying. I was like, it wasn't the most impressive climb or hill or anything like that, but it's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah. We love all mountains that come in all shapes and sizes.
We are not mountain shamers.
Well,
There's been a lot of shitty mountains.
Next mountain.
I will shit on Belgium's shitty hill.
Absolutely.
Well-
Because they had no internet.
Anything to do with Belgium, I mean.
Yeah. But we finished that mountain. That was North Island. And then we actually caught up and made breakfast for someone randomly at their
No,
house.
we also we should make an honorable mention to Jester.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Number Jester. Absolutely.
Finally got to meet him.
Yeah, so for those of you who are Patreons, Number Jester has been there at the beginning
From
from
the very start.
very start of the Patreon, from the Neighbours podcast, still the greatest podcast to ever exist, all the way through to now. He's always been in every single VIP chat, always given us his great, I don't really know if you think about it, his greatest accent, which I based some of my Donal accent from.
Donald.
Donal. Yeah, he came out and I just wanted to give him a hug and skip with him. He's just so jolly.
He is very happy and you can feel a warm presence.
Yeah.
There was definitely one province. He could have petted that horse.
Yeah, he would have.
He's pure.
Yeah, he had purity and authenticity.
Yes.
Yeah, but so the next morning, got up and we cooked breakfast for Zazarin.
Yeah.
Which is
And a bunch of other nerds.
So Ziz has pretty much done what I've done with these guys, but he's just recruited people to Northern Ireland to play video games with him.
Yeah.
And so they were all there, and we cooked up a nice bacon and eggs for breakfast.
Dekie said to me, he's like, we should fight them.
So 4 of them, 4 of us. That's fucking
Zarin is another streamer.
Yeah.
He plays a lot of like
action RPGs.
ARPGs, Path of Exile, Diablo. So he's been a very busy guy recently, and all of his friends also play Diablo. They are like the tip of the spear,
Well,
the
they
best
got
of the best.
first and third for first to 100 in hardcore Diablo 4.
But we discussed who would take on who.
Actually, I think they might got second as well. First, second, and equal third.
Yeah. But we also discussed who would fight who. So who would fight Zazarin?
I think it was me, wasn't it?
You're going to fight
Yeah.
the 2 big streamers?
Yeah, the boss
Who are
versus
you
the
going
boss.
for?
I
Were
wanted
you-
to fight the
You had to fight the
Sexy guy?
Frenchman.
the Asian guy. Oh no,
the
I was going to
sexy
fight
guy.
I was going to fight the Frenchman. Yeah,
The French guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I liked
What?
him.
I
Were you
can't
going to
remember
go
their
the
names
Melbourne
now.
guy or
It
the
was Khan?
sexy guy?
So you're fighting the Melbourneian.
I'm fighting Melbourne boy.
All right, then I get the
The sexy boy.
Good looking man.
Yeah, the two sexiest guys get to fight each other. Yeah.
We could make money from that.
I'd fight him and take his flannel too.
Oh, it was a
Dude,
good
that
flannel.
was such a good
That was a
jacket.
lovely
I
flannel.
was hoping he was going to offer it. I kept bringing. I was like, man, that's really nice. And I was
Yeah.
hoping, he'd be like, oh, dude, take it. He didn't.
Yeah, I was hoping he would offer me his body, but he didn't. But but no, we would have won. And
100%.
if they if you watch this, we would have destroyed you boys in a physical match of physicalness.
Aziz was just going to chuck his cat at us.
Yeah, he had
That's right. He was going to like
He had an
shoulders-
attack cat.
He did have an attack cat.
He had a pet.
But we've got a Dekie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we would have gone full primal on him.
yeah,
That was a really busy day because we also caught up with Mr. Gibbon.
not that same day. The next day, didn't we?
That was the same day.
Was it the same day?
The same day.
Was it the same day?
Yeah.
We caught up with two streamers in the same day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, so speaking of sexy men,
Who has more clout?
God, that guy was sexy too.
he was hot.
Yeah, like it's not fair. Like,
Well, I think we have opportunity to be sexy.
Well, the abs.
I'm well on
getting
my
there,
way.
Dekie.
Yeah. It's coming.
Well,
Paul wanted to pee in his backyard within 5 minutes.
right.
Okay, he goes to me, make yourself at home.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm just going to piss on your tree in your backyard. And I was like, use the toilet, Paul.
What is wrong with that?
And like Paul's like already traipsing back there, and Mr. Gibbon's like, "Where's he going?" And we were like,
What are you doing, lad?
And he's
Don't
like-
go pee in
and
your
we're
backyard.
Like, he's going to pee on your tree, and he's like, "What the hell is wrong with him?"
Yeah.
It was quite the introduction that Paul made with our new friend.
So we had
I
to
don't understand what's wrong with that.
We had to build some bridges again.
Well, it's just like we just met him.
Yeah.
I've been talking to him for a bit.
Sure, online, but like if you meet a girl online, start talking and be like, I'm going to piss in your backyard. Like, doesn't
Mate,
really work.
obviously, if you come to my house, you're more than welcome to piss on one of my trees. Anyone that's invited to my house. More than
that's
welcome.
invited to. That's the key phrase.
I use the word invited. I
Yeah.
don't want like 40 people rocking up to my
There's
house.
all these
It's like,
homeless people just pissing. But no, he is quite a muscular man with incredible eyes and a voice that I could
Beautiful
marry.
hair.
Nice mullet.
Oh, everything. Mr. Gibbon, stop it because I'm wearing shorts.
and I loved his house.
Yeah.
His house was awesome.
Beautiful
honestly,
dog.
yeah.
Fantastic. Are they married, him and his partner?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
There's a partner. Yep.
Yep.
But that dog. Oh, that dog.
Yeah. That's
It was a golden retriever,
Adorable
wasn't it?
golden retriever. Definitely had like all golden retriever characteristics you would
Yeah.
expect. Also fat.
Yeah. So good. We went and had lunch with them and we got a schmoody, which was actually a milkshake.
Yeah. Thanks for calling it a smoothie because makes it a lot better. Makes it feel
It
a lot
makes us feel
better.
something. I'll probably get a schmoody, Michael.
Yeah.
And it's just a Kinder Surprise thick shake, and it's like, this is amazing.
Yeah, just like barely melted ice cream with a straw.
His partner got the cheesecake, and she had like two
Oh,
bites
that
of it,
looked
and she was like, "It's
incredible.
just so rich." This is like, "Yep,
That was massive, and it came with like all your own toppings.
I know."
It was like make your own cheesecake.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I didn't partake in this because I'm getting abs.
Yeah, but we moved on from Ireland back to Dublin.
No, we went and climbed up Karen Two Hill.
Karen Two Hills,
Yeah.
which is a euphemism for her breasts.
And you know what the thing is about that hike? It was enjoyable because it was actually a climb. There was a place called the Devil's Ladder.
Oh, the Devil's Ladder.
Yeah.
And it was cool that we had to actually physically climb something, but that hill, in my opinion,
It was
It
enjoyable.
was like
The
walking
Devil's
up a
Ladder was
staircase. It was about as difficult as walking up your average staircase.
But I enjoyed
and
the
yet the
Devil's-
Irish felt like they needed to call it
yeah.
the Devil's Ladder, which is some real bullshit. Like, is that the best
No,
you
it's
got? You
more-
could have called it like the sheep path.
There were sheep going up and down it, so
and people were like, oh, people break their bones there all the time. And
don't
you're like,
go down. It's too
Yeah,
dangerous.
when we were like, I was like, oh, we'll just go down the Devil's Ladder. Like, it's the fastest way down. And people were like, oh, no.
Oh no, you take the zigzags.
Yeah, that looked like so much more effort.
It did.
It'll just take you another 10 minutes. Fuck off, it will.
I'm not walking up 10 minutes of hill.
But yeah,
We had a great time at the top, chilling, enjoying the weather.
We
met
met
a
some
guy-
really cool guys. Yeah, we met a guy. If you're
Named
watching
Pete.
right now, the guy from Canada.
Yeah,
the Pete guy, he even commented on one of our videos.
I know he commented. Was his name Pete though?
Yes, it was.
Pete from Vancouver.
Yeah.
What about the old man that came up with us?
Doug
Doug.
from
Doug's a filthy fucking liar.
He was carrying some weight with him.
Yeah, so we don't need to get into
We're not
that.
sure if he'd murdered 10 of his family or they had died on top of the mountain.
So Doug said that he was there with 10 people. and he decided to climb. And we were like, we just went on this own tangent of like what this meant.
Yeah, because he says like they don't do things like this. Like what, they can't anymore because you've killed them.
Like, we just went on our own little.
Yeah,
and then we were saying
backstory.
His mates are all dead, and this is the last time like he had to like re-climb the mountain.
It's like we Evan and peeled again.
Yeah, we made an entire story about some random guy we
definitely
met, but he lied to us because he said he was going to take the zigzags, and then we talked to Pete, and Pete was all like, "Oh yeah, I met Doug coming down the Devil's Ladder," and I was like, "Doug,
You fucking liar." No. But we met Doug. We got down the Devil's Ladder. I actually really enjoyed that mountain. It was quite lovely.
Okay.
Now, what happened after?
We went back to Dublin.
And well, we had quite a big meetup.
Yeah, it was probably our biggest.
the biggest meetup, I think 24 people."
I think so. Yeah.
And you that was the place you chose, the Brazen Head.
Yeah, it was
Great
the best
choice.
place
The
we've
oldest pub in Dublin.
Oldest pub in Dublin?
Well, there's an argument over that, but
Well, they said it's the oldest
I
pub
believe
that's
it's
been
the oldest.
serving alcohol or something like that.
Yeah. We had some legit Guinness.
Yeah.
Legit Guinness.
And I've been doing my research. I know how to properly taste them now. They were legit.
and also on top of that, walking to that pub was an episode of on its own.
Talk about Walking Dead.
Yeah. we were walking to the pub and we came from like the more dodgy area because our person that helps us book all our accommodation, she likes putting us with the individuals
Yes.
of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first one we came across is a lady just trying to like light her smoke. And then she's like, "Hey, can I borrow a lighter?" Which is like, a common thing. She was lighting a crack pipe.
So yeah,
But she didn't like yell at us. We're just like, "Oh, sorry, we don't smoke." And she's like, "Have a good day, love." Like,
And then the next one was a dude walking down the street and his face was covered in blood and there was blood all over his shirt.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow.
He's a young lad.
yeah,
too.
young lad definitely had been in some kind of brawl.
This is like 6
I
o'clock.
was getting very excited. At
The whole
point. Then
place
we had
smelled like
another
weed,
guy
too.
that was like screaming and yelling on the corner.
Yeah. With flyers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this was like 6 o'clock
Yeah.
on like a Thursday.
That's a perfect time.
Yeah,
for
a lot of
people to
things
come out.
going on in Dublin. I was pretty impressed. I actually like Dublin.
And the meetup was great. That we had 4 women.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think he has biggest female turnout that we had had.
Yeah.
And biggest turnout, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was. So
And everyone was lovely.
Sorry to all those ladies who got dragged to that nerd fest with your partners.
But we that was our biggest night of drinking, dude.
they
At least for you and me, not shit boaty McBoat over there, but
that was for me the biggest night because everyone was buying the drinks. They were buying those little mini ones.
Yeah.
Someone bought me a Bailey's thing.
Let's just like, all these UK people, including
That's right.
Ireland, are like, you don't drink like us. Well, the Irish actually drink pretty hard.
They do.
And I felt like a real rock star that day because my boy Kieran, he said he watched the Netherlands podcast.
Yeah, Lucky Kieran.
No, this is a different Kieran.
Oh.
This is Kieran from Dublin. And he brought me a little nug of weed, he says.
Oh,
I thought you would like this.
wow.
And he'd grown it himself. And it was called like nuclear something, death something.
When did you smoke it?
when we
Oh,
were
no, you
walking.
gave it to someone.
No, they were doing it while we were walking to the to the Chinese place,
I
Charlie's.
thought you gave it to someone else as well.
Well,
I did.
It was a full nug.
It was a lot. And we
How
did not
many
need
times
it.
have you had weed? You had weed in Copenhagen as well. Well, that's actually a cigarette, wasn't it?
Well, it's probably a lot closer to a cigarette, but we'll get to that too. So that was a really cool experience. We got a spice box.
Oh, that
Oh,
was
the
my
spice
favorite
box.
meal.
We went to everybody had been talking about the spice box.
Yeah.
Everybody. Like the spice box was the biggest thing in Dublin. Apparently, if you're out late and you need to get some food, you go to Charlie's.
That's a spice bag, wasn't it?
And it was box.
bag.
But it comes in a
It was
box.
bag. It was a bag, yeah.
And Charlie's is like a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah. And
So I'll just say, I thought this was going to be another Chavapi situation.
Oh my
Yes.
god! I
Because
was-
like everyone's like, "Oh, you're in our country, you got to try Chavapi.
Yeah.
You got to try this sandwich with no top piece of bread. It's the best thing."
yeah, wrong.
And it's like usually it's like mediocre because
Yeah.
it's not like our gourmet 5-star Michelin dish. It's like this is the thing we all eat.
Yeah.
So the spice box,
Spice bag.
spice bag.
yeah, but
did you
like
think?
I didn't think I was gonna like it, so I ordered like fried rice, and then I like tasted theirs, and it was amazing. I was
Yeah.
so sad. Is this fries and like spicy chicken?
Because I think the curry sauce is
good.
what turned you off because you thought, oh, it's covered in curry sauce. But they had it in a tub on the side.
And then somebody was telling me they're like, even if you don't get the sauce, it won't be that wet, and that scared me. I was like, why would it be wet
Why
at
is it
all?
going to be wet?
And I guess it like the steam made it a little bit wet, but it wasn't. So like that part like turned me off, and I was like, I'm not getting it. And then I really regretted it.
Yeah, Irish spice box, legit.
Yeah. I haven't found anything close to it since, like on the trips.
The and it was just nice to meet so many cool people. There was Gaz. Gaz rocked up, second largest content creator after Mr. Gibbon.
Yep, correct.
And he wanted to hit the town. He was like, "You coming to the next bar?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's like 2 a.m."
Yeah,
Yeah, those guys, they just want to keep going.
they don't want to stop.
I'll give the Irish something on that because a lot of everywhere, not just in, on this trip, but on the Balkans, everywhere we go, and it's the same thing in the US or Mexico. Everywhere you go, everybody's like tries to brag that they're the best alcoholics. Mm-hmm. They're like, Mexican people are like, nobody drinks like Mexicans, dude. We pound down tequila. And then in the US, it's like, dude, we smash whiskey and drink Bud Lights. And then, the Balkans, they're like, we drink Rocky all the time. Like, we're the best alcoholics in the world. Overall, everybody's pretty much the same, except the Irish, I feel like, did push the level a little bit more.
They did.
I brought this up at the meetup, and they said that the only people they respect are the Scottish. When it comes
The
to
Scottish didn't hold up, not on our experience.
No, they were pretty.
got pretty wasted.
Yeah, no, they did.
You guys drank a lot that night.
I did drink
And
a lot that
we
night as
we
well.
should talk about Scotland because we missed it completely on the last podcast. We had a good time there.
Yeah, that meetup was fantastic.
Yeah, ton of people came up. Mr. Potato Head, he
Yep.
showed us a great time, and we really enjoyed our time in Edinburgh.
Not to mention, we took over someo's house, Scarlett, and used her house for.
Okay, I take it back. Yeah, the Scottish do. They really did hold it up.
They were
That
bringing
one guy
whiskey
kept,
out.
Yeah, that was insane. Yeah, they kept buying a ton
There was
of
one
drinks.
stage you had
Maybe-
4 drinks
You
in
know
front
what?
of you,
Yeah,
Dekie.
yeah, I did have like 4 drinks in front of me, and I was like, I didn't want any.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah, never mind. I take it back. Sorry, Scots.
but I think the real alcoholics was those 2 women that we met in Copenhagen. But anyway, move on from that.
But we're about to get, because I was trying to give credit to the Irish about their recommendations. They recommended a spice bag. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
They said that they drink a lot, and they do. But the real thing is, they said that the Guinness Museum is great, and it's fucking dog shit.
Yeah. So
It is.
I was like,
And they didn't say museum, the Guinness Brewery.
Yeah.
That's how they
Tour,
get you.
tour.
Yeah.
and now we were like 10 minutes into this, and I was like, what a waste of time and money.
Yeah.
I was gonna say what a fucking shit show this was. Because honestly, like, okay, I've done a few brewery tours in my time. Not lots, but like maybe 3 or 4. And 99% of the time, whatever percentage it is for the 3 to 4 that I did, everyone that I did, they actually show you where it's being bottled, where it's being made. You see the big, like, I don't know, canisters of alcohol.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just want to go for a swim in it. And it's like, yeah, alcohol. It's great.
Yeah, alcohol is great. Before Death podcast.
But but this one, it was like you saw the process at the ground level. That they taught you how they make it through like some video feeds and shit. And then after that, it was just like a big propaganda thing.
Yeah, ton of memorabilia.
Big media, like
How they used to advertise it to kids. And
yeah, that's right. And then their cinema room was just all wank.
And,
Like,
like-
it looked great, but I was like, this has nothing to. It was
is
all.
Guinness
It was just like
commercials.
just a guy in a deep voice just saying like, manliness.
Yeah.
And deep burning.
It was like one of those.
temperature to where it doesn't catch fire, but to where it tastes great.
Yeah.
It was like one of those. Those Johnny Depp commercials where he's just like walking
Yeah.
in the desert.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he
for
just plays a
cologne,
guitar.
yeah.
Yeah. It's exactly like that. It was just all wank, and it was like, this isn't actually telling us anything about
And the one
Guinness.
thing that would have been really fun to do was pour our own beer.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
they were going to charge us like
12 euro
10
each.
quid each.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're joking. Or 10 euro each. And I was like,
And the guy at the top, we were just like, we were having a great time, and he just was not in the mood to take our ticket.
No,
to
the
give us a-
bartender was like, well, he was not a very happy
So-
gentleman.
it was like, I don't know, like a 3 out of 10 experience to me. Like, I think value for money, like if you're really into Guinness, it's probably all right because you actually get to learn a lot about the company and like how they shipped it around the world and all this stuff. But if they had literally just let me walk through the actual factory for
I just wanted to see
10
some
minutes.
barrels full of Guinness or something brewing it. Yeah. But instead, we got like a little bit of a video and then just a bunch of bullshit.
and that ruined it for me.
It felt like a mall.
It did feel like a mall.
It was. It was like
Don't
5
get me wrong.
stories.
It was well displayed and everything, but for what?
They were trying to hit the dopamine the whole way through it. And
Yeah.
I was just seeing straight through it.
So basically,
a story.
I really respected the Irish's opinion until that, and now
It ruined it. And honestly, between
Then we got
Karen
5
Toohill-
guys.
We got 5 guys, but I was still disappointed that Charlie's was closed. That we couldn't get a second spice bag,
But we went to Five Guys
I was
instead.
happy with 5
and we
guys.
went to 5 guys. It was good.
And Michael ordered me a vanilla and bacon milkshake.
It was actually an Oreo and bacon milkshake. You're welcome.
It was delicious.
Yeah. Why are we so clammy?
I don't know. Sweat. He's the gamer subs.
I'm about to pee.
What is the time? How long have we been going for?
No, we still got to talk about Copenhagen,
Yeah, we will.
which was our next place.
Let's both.
Oh, well, we're gone for an hour already.
God, well, maybe
A lot of stories.
No,
So
we're going to keep going.
after Dublin, what do?
I don't
We
remember.
flew to Copenhagen.
We flew to Copenhagen.
Back to Ryanair.
Now, we had the full afternoon in Dublin to go to the Guinness brewery and all that stuff.
Yep.
And then we go to Copenhagen and we arrived at like midnight.
Yeah,
And
it was
we were in the
quite late.
smallest hotel room of all time,
Yes.
Sorry, Paul, to cut you off. Which side of the bed are you going to lay on?
the non-window side.
Let's go.
We were in the smallest hotel room, but it was a nice hotel at least. And
Very nice hotel. Sauna.
we went to bed, and
that sauna was
the next day was our day off.
Yep.
And so the idea was we normally have our rooms to ourselves on the day off, but it's so expensive anywhere in this side of the world. So I said, well, we'll go to a nice hotel. There was a pool, a sauna, and I said, you can just explore the city and that. So I got up nice and early.
There was a penthouse pool as well that we could have gotten to, which you would have won the festive shame if you'd taken the bet.
Construction.
Under maintenance or some shit. But yeah, so I spent the morning doing the laundry. I walked like my 15,000 steps even before lunch pretty much. I was just exploring the city. It was great.
Yeah.
I love that city.
I
And-
slept in. It was also great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Then you
and
went to
so
the gym.
there wasn't really much to report for me because I was just trying to like have a relaxing day.
Yeah.
I organized the car, got the car ready for the next hill, number 16, and then I pretty much just relaxed for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But Jared and Dekie, being Jared and Dekie,
Well, yeah, at the start of the day,
We broke up.
I went down to the gym, and then when I came back, everyone was gone. And I'm just walking around the city. I get a text from Dekie. He's like, I'm in the Lawless city, or I'm in the Lawless thing. And I was like, oh, I guess I missed my shot to go there. And then a little time goes by, do the whole car thing with Paul, pick up a rental car. And then I'm like, where is this Lawless city? Turns out it's like 15 minutes away. I'm like, I'm going too.
Yeah.
So, Dekie, you go first because you were the first one there. Give us your first impression.
Yeah, so we had rolled into Copenhagen and I was like, what the hell's in Copenhagen? We got a day off here. It's not quite the place that I'm going to be spending the entire time in the hotel room.
Why not? Why not?
He's cozy.
Because I was basically inside of Jared on that couch. So I had made an Instagram story on my Instagram, Dekie on Instagram, and I had been like, dude, what's something I can get into? And I think I specifically said like an abandoned building I can explore or something I can steal. And so one of my boys, dude, really fucking nailed it. And we actually met up with him on the mountain. It was awesome. He brought some beers for us.
You did?
Shout out Mantis.
Mantis? Party shirt guy?
And he sent me this message. He's like, we should go to Christiania, the Freetown. And I was like, what is that? And he's all like, give a brief description. He's like, it's basically like a anarchist Freetown that's literally part of the city. And when he said part of the city, I thought I was gonna have to get like an Uber like an hour out or something. No, it's part of the city. And he's all like, but like, do your research a little bit because it could go bad. Like, don't film. That's pretty much all he said. And so I looked into it and I like Googled and it was all like, yeah, don't film because they sell drugs. So I was like, and for that kind of thing in general, you know, laws or, you know, regulations about certain things, I kind of say, who cares? But this is a little bit different because this is like, they made their own little like commune city section off. And I was like, I'll respect it. And I also don't want to get my ass beaten stabbed. So I had zero intention of filming and I did not. I took some pictures of the entrance and that was it. So I go over there and see a 15-minute walk and it's basically from what I like read is like, it's this old like barracks and 50 years ago, a bunch of hippies moved in, squatted there, kind of did it. And since then it's like grown into this community and they've like separated themselves from Copenhagen and they're like, we don't abide by the laws. And as far as like, the Danish government goes, they kind of respect it. Apart from then Pesley told me that there are police raids on it to stop the drugs. But in general, it's kind of just left alone from what I understand.
they have representatives from the actual like township.
Yeah.
So the decisions are made by the people of Christiania. And there's about 200 residents that actually live there. But there's like 3 or 4 people that actually represent them when they go to like the actual Danish council, which is really cool though. That the actual, instead of just being like, no, fuck you, you can't do that.
Exactly.
They're actually being like, you know what? If you really want to do it that way, that's fine, but we'll have to make discussion about it.
Which is bizarre. Like, I don't know how they got away with it. It's unreal.
My theory is they're big enough to like to be a big enough deal, but not too big to be like, holy shit, we have to stop that because it's like almost like a city emerging. But they're not so small that they can't just be like pushed out.
And they're very established too. Like there's been probably a couple generations now that
It's 50 years. They just celebrated 50 years of Christiania.
people have been born, people have grown up and had children there. So like to move those people out.
You did say it had heavy cultish vibes though.
Yeah,
What
did.
was that gave you that feeling?
It just felt like a little too happy.
I get what you mean.
So I described it in the way it's like if you went to like a hippie music festival and then that music festival didn't just go for the weekend, it went for 50 years. So like things are like generally well taken care of.
Wild, wild country.
Yeah, not that far. Not that far.
Okay.
But yeah, there's probably some weird stuff going on there. When you first walk in, there's just like all these vendor stalls and they've just got plywood and they're all spray painted like with their own logos and stuff, and it's just selling weed and hash, and that's the only thing they sell. Weed and hash. So they I guess they really try and like not promote any kind of hard drugs there.
Yeah, there's signs up. I didn't go in there, but I did my research after these guys have spoken about it. Like there's signs up saying no hard drugs, and one of the head people there said that if people are discovered doing hard drugs or trying to sell it, they ban them from the city.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I suspected there was probably definitely some hard drugs going on behind the scenes, but they were just selling weed.
Yeah. And so you go to the one main area. There's a lot of really cool stuff there. There's like a giant wooden troll statue.
Yeah.
Which I have the exact copies of those in Perth, like down south from Perth.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know if they originate here and someone made them there, but I'm gonna have to do that research. They also have like this area with a giant stage. I think it's called like Nemo Land or something like that, where they have like bars and like food trucks and a bunch of tables in the middle. And they've got like, I don't know where the music was coming from, but it's coming from like the background somewhere.
So do they have do they have jobs and pay for this, or is it just
I think they probably all, well, you were saying they it's like they're a commune, right? So they're like a communist society that they all work for one thing.
So whose food trucks and stuff is it then? Who's
They have their own like ecosystem in there, but I definitely think there's outside money too. Like they have like if you go to like the general store and you want to get some like beers to drink with the Irish guys like I did, then you can use a card. So there's got to be, there's a connection with banking system in some places.
Yeah.
I would argue that they probably get a lot of money from tourism. Like there's people that would go,
And there's a lot of tourists.
Yeah, and they have like tourist stalls where they sell Christiania shirts and like your lighters, all this kind of stuff. And like all the kind of the Rasta stuff, like hippie pants, ponchos and all that kind of thing.
So it's this weird like mishmash of all this stuff together, but like they do have a legit community there. And it's honestly pretty cool.
Yeah, they have stables, horse stables.
They have an indoor skate park, which was awesome.
Really cool.
And it's like partially outdoor. Like I was like walking down this like street and then it like turned into a half pipe on the street, but it's covered with gravel. And I was like, who's going to skate here? And then I heard all this like shredding on inside this building. And I like went in and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah. When I was walking through there was some guy skating back and forth. I had to wait like I was crossing the street.
But it was, it was also one of those things, like, I feel like I would have heard about this place.
Yeah.
Just like, on the internet or something else, but I'd never heard of it. And
I'd never heard of it.
I don't know if I was just oblivious to it or if it's not that well documented.
No, like I tried to do a lot of research on it after you guys talked about it because I'm like, well, should we go there at
yeah,
night time?
there's
and all
like a
that
Yes
stuff?
Theory video on it.
There's a Yes Theory video on it, but outside of that, there's not much. And I think it's because they
don't
say
film.
don't film. So then people are like, well, I'm not going to make a video about it if I can't like make content out of it or stuff like that.
And I think they're pretty strict about that. They'd have like guys watching out and looking around. They're definitely, looking for, people not obeying the rules. And I obeyed the rules very
narcs.
strictly.
I think they also have people on the watch out for the cops too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But yeah, it was super cool experience. If you, but it, as well, it didn't feel dangerous or anything. Like if you're in Copenhagen, go check out Christiania. It's dope.
Yeah. Just be respectful.
I bought some weed, allegedly.
It's not more like a cigarette.
Yeah.
I spent all of my day in roughly about 30,000 steps trying to find a hat.
Wow.
But you got one.
I got
you
one.
look like a elderly woman who gardens.
An elderly woman who gardens or a woman that's joined the nunnery who gardens.
Mm-hmm.
I look great. So you guys had quite an eventful day and I just wasted a lot of time. I saw a lot of boobs though.
Oh, on the river?
Yeah. Apparently when the sun comes out and you're near the river, it's just...
I did not see that. I was hanging out with a bunch of teenage boys who were skateboarding off the river.
Yeah.
Which was way more fun.
Yeah.
So the next day, we climbed the highest peak of Denmark.
Oh, what a
Climbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to
Very
climb up the
exciting.
staircase at the monument that was not the highest peak.
It's a 3-hour drive.
Yeah, 3-hour drive there and 3-hour drive back.
Had to do it, took it off. But it was really cool to have the people meet us there.
It was some really cool
was.
people to meet up with us.
Yeah,
Mantis.
And I'm glad that we did it. And then on top of that, it was cool to see that, like, even though the farmer had the private land at the highest point, he still had like a fence and a gateway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could still go take a photo. He had some picnic tables there. So
Some really
Right next to
engorged
the
cows.
the cow
yeah.
place, so you could just enjoy a picnic.
They really
next
needed to
that
be
smell.
milked.
Yeah.
and then after that, we headed back to Copenhagen to do our podcast with Glory C.
Oh, what an
Yes.
amazing man.
Well, should we talk about that on the BPVs?
Well, we will, but so there will be a podcast coming out with Glory C. It'll probably be at the end of this trip because I want the
Your trip
podcast
to flow chronologically.
to flow. Otherwise, it'll be a week ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah, that will happen at the end. But lovely man, and I knew he was a lovely man before I invited him. And you guys were like, I don't know, who
He's
this guy
my
is.
favorite Denmarkian.
Yeah.
100%.
Shout out to all the guys that came to the Denmark mountain. It
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah.
No, it was a great turnout.
Not Michael's favorite, but
Yeah.
close.
You guys aren't my favorite. Sorry. Once you meet Gloria C, favorite Denmarkian.
So I think we should do the BPBs now.
Yeah, I agree.
And in the BPBs, we're going to talk about Michael making friends with some very intoxicated elderly ladies.
In Denmark, yeah.
Yes.
But
I
yeah,
have a way with older women.
Michael literally called this woman an alcoholic
No,
to her
save
face.
it.
It was really messed up.
No,
But we'll give the details on the BPBs.
yeah. So, guys, if you enjoyed this, make sure you like and comment. If you got to the end, write that in the comments. You know, that's say, hey, I got to the end. Thank you.
Yeah, I got to this point.
If you want to help support us, there's multiple ways. You could go check out our socials. If you go down underneath the YouTube video, there'll be a link and it goes to all the Before Death socials and as well as the individuals. Jared is less than 200 subs away from being monetized on YouTube.
Oh.
Did you pop to 800 though?
Yeah, I popped
Yeah, I
it.
knew it.
So if you guys want to support Aventura Australia, that'd be the best way. Otherwise, check out our Instagrams. We post daily on our Instagrams. And if you want to keep up to date for everything going on in this trip. Like I said, the Glorious E podcast will come out in a few weeks. If you want to go that extra step, we do a BPB, which is a behind the podcast bits. Patreon is what, $3 a month, like US?
Yep.
And you get, honestly, at this point, you're getting like probably 10 to 15 videos a month. For our major videos, you get like a 3-hour video of everything that was filmed. And there's also the extra podcast.
$5
each week.
one, you'd get what you've just said. $3 one, you're getting kind of just a little bit more dribs and drabs because we can put a lot of like VIP things in there that you can see.
Yeah. So the $5 you get to be one of our monthly catch-ups where we talk to you guys in Discord.
The $3 is just your basic one, but it's you still get a lot. And
You get a lot of the behind
You
the
get to
scenes
see
stuff.
like all the way stuff back to where we started doing the jelly bean video.
So there's a lot going out. But yeah, appreciate the support. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end if you got to this point. And we're going to get into the BPBs. So, Before Death.
That was
That was atrocious. Do it again. Before Death.
I did it wrong again.